how to turn Facebook fans into paying customers with no ad spend, you're in the right place. We'll unmute Sydney here in just a couple seconds and get started. Stay with us. Well, folks, it's about that time, so we're going to go ahead and get started. You're here to learn how to turn Facebook fans into paying customers with no ad spend. I'm going to go ahead and unmute Sydney, and we'll jump right into that content. So let me go ahead and find her and unmute her real quick. So, folks, I have her unmuted, and real quick, what you're going to learn in the next 30 minutes is, first, how a marketing manager with no technical skills launched a Facebook campaign that converted at 30%. Next, the 6 pieces every Facebook contest needs to succeed, and 6 case studies that captured over 7,000 email leads. And lastly, how you can copy these strategies yourself to build your email list, drive engagement, and increase sales with your Facebook page. Sydney, are you there?
I am. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks again for jumping on again, and hopefully we don't have any issues with the GoToWebinar platform here today.
I'm setting good intentions that will be just fine.
I'm feeling the same way. Well, real quick, before we jump into these things that we're going to learn in the next 30 minutes, if you just want to give a quick summary of why you wanted to have us on here to pitch this content to your audience.
Yeah, you know, a lot of my clients and students are using Facebook to connect with their audience and to generate leads and create visibility for their message. And as Facebook continues to shift how it interacts with us as small business owners and consumers, the rules keep changing, and so it can be very confusing and very difficult to understand how actually to get paying clients from Facebook, which is the point that that's what we want. We're not on Facebook just for the sake of posting updates and sharing information, but if we're using it as a marketing tool, we want to generate leads, and we want those leads to turn into paying clients. And so I participated in a training with you before, and I thought it was really interesting and practical, and I wanted to bring this to my audience so that they can benefit from these strategies as well.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. Getting those email leads to turning to paying customers is the main goal here. So a little background real quick. You can see some of the places we've been involved here at Heyo. So that's who we are, and that's why we're here today, to teach you some things about Facebook marketing and how to convert those fans into paying customers. So with that, we'll go ahead and jump right in. Once again, here are the things that you should be getting as takeaways from today. And if you don't get at least 2 actionable things to bring to your business, I will consider this an absolute failure on my part. So get ready to take some notes, folks. First, we're going to be learning how a marketing manager with no technical skills launched a Facebook contest that converted at 30%. Next, we'll take a look at 6 pieces every Facebook contest needs to succeed and 6 case studies that captured over 7,000 new email leads. This is where you want to be taking a lot of notes, folks, and I'll make sure that you know where you should be writing things down. Next, how you can copy these strategies yourself to build your email list, drive engagement, and increase sales with your Facebook page. And then at the end of the webinar, we'll have a live Q&A and show you the top converting campaign ever. So you won't want to miss that. So with that, folks, we'll jump into number 1. How a marketing manager with no technical skills, didn't know a line of code, launched a campaign that converted at 30%. So real quick, if all of you aren't familiar with where on your page you would be hosting something like this, it's right on your screen where you see this red dotted line. So all these apps, the custom tabs, is where you can actually collect information from Facebook. So this is where it'll be hosted on your page. So I want you to meet Milena. She created a campaign for one of her clients that was a ski resort, and it converted at over 30% with no ad spend. So you can take a look at what this contest looked like, how many impressions it got. Take a look at this on your screen, folks. This number I'm circling on your screen is how many impressions she got with this one contest alone. Then of that, how many of the email leads she captured. Isn't that something all of us would like to see coming into our email platform? That's a pretty great number. So you can see her contest here.
Quick question.
Yeah, absolutely.
For context, like, because you and I know, because we're marketers, that's a really outstanding number. But for the sake of our audience, can you give them some context? Like, what's generally considered a good conversion rate?
Yeah, so typically a good conversion rate on a campaign online is around the 10% number. So this is extremely high. What are typical conversion rates that you're seeing, Sydney?
Yeah, that's what we're seeing also, anywhere from 5 to 10%. So I just wanted to point that out, folks, that this is like triple what usually happens with an online landing page or campaign. And again, as Jay mentioned, they didn't spend any money on ads. So I'll let you continue. I just thought it was really important to show how successful this actually was.
Yeah, absolutely. That's very important to note how high that conversion rate is compared to what the average is. And one other thing to mention, folks, these campaigns are being run because people want more email leads. Take a look at that number too. That in itself is very telling. So that's very beneficial for any business. Even a number, at 100 emails, if 300 people see it, that's still a very, very good conversion rate. So this is fantastic results. I'll go ahead to the next case study here. So everybody meet Paul. As you can see on this one as well, his main goal was to capture email leads, which then he was going to convert into sales. So this campaign turned out to be the highest converting campaign they'd ever launched, and it was really easy to set up, as you can see in that quote he put there. And we'll actually show you how to set up one of these contests here in a little bit. And it took him about 30 minutes to set up this whole thing. And with that, you can see he captured 716. But look at this conversion rate, Sydney. That's even more impressive.
Yeah, it is. So it's not necessarily, it is a numbers game from some perspective, but your goal is to capture the most amount of contacts from your particular campaign. So we see the numbers here are smaller in comparison to the first example, but it's a much, much higher conversion rate.
Right. Yes, there's a lot of different things that you can look at, folks, that are very important. And we'll go into those details later, as I mentioned, the 6 steps you need to include to run a successful contest. We just wanted to show you some numbers to get an idea of what this could potentially do for your business. So we'll go ahead and jump to the next one. So this is Amy Lombard, and as you can see, her goal was to capture email leads to sell more bags. So she really wanted those emails to sell bags. As we've talked about, that's the end goal here, is to grow revenue for your business. Then you can take that revenue and put it into your life and, for your family, friends, whatever that might be. So you can see her campaign here. So these all look very similar. And the reasoning behind that is the research we've done into what makes us successful. And that'll be your takeaways here in a little bit, where you'll really want to be taking those notes. So you can see her campaign captured about 1,800 impressions for 582 email addresses, and that was another 30% conversion rate. So all of these converted very, very well. Here's one more contest I want you to take a look at. This one had a ton of impressions and a ton of emails captured with a little bit lower of a conversion rate, but at the end of the day, there was a ton of new contacts for this business. So this is Jeremy Stein. They own Stein Mart. It's down in Louisiana, New Orleans. And you can see their contest here scrolling through. So this is what it'll look like when they're actually on your Facebook page. There will be mobile versions of this as well, but you can see that that is what it'll look like if you're on a laptop or a desktop. So once again, those numbers are there. Here's one other contest that you can take a look at. So this one was really neat. They actually had people entering in their information, and the contest was that they were going to get a hat named after the person who won. So this is a hat company. They make all kinds of different funky, cool hats, and for the contest, their winner was going to get a hat named after them, have it on their website, promote it. So this is a really cool contest, and look at that conversion rate, 78%. That is unreal. So a lot of the results really hinge on what that prize is, and we'll get more into that here in just a minute. Any other takeaways that you've seen from this so far, Sydney?
No, I think one thing I do really like is that the contest was about naming the hat and getting the audience involved. And no matter what product or service you're selling in your business, you want to create that kind of community feeling and engagement with your audience and let them be a part of your business. It's not always about what you think they need, but getting them involved and saying, hey, you know, we're doing this new thing. We want your input. What do you think this should look like? What colors do you think we should use? What do you think we should call it? It helps people to feel more engaged with your brand, and it also increases brand loyalty. So that was really smart that this company did that to pull their audience in, and it didn't cost anything. It didn't require, you know, selling your soul or naming your firstborn child. It just was an opportunity for the consumer to get involved in the brand and participate with a community of like-minded people. So you want to be looking for ways to create that kind of opportunity for your audience as well.
Exactly, and those are all key takeaways that you guys should be taking notes in on itself. So think about ways that you can get that brand loyalty, brand trust really up with your audience by getting them engaged with the brand through a contest, not just giving away something, you know, very generic. So we'll get more into that in a little bit, but off of what you just said, I'll go ahead and jump to this contest. So other things you can do are run photo contests to get people really engaged with your brand. So this one that you can see up top here that they have a bottle here, and it was a logo design contest for the next label on one of their beers. So very similar to getting them engaged and, you know, ownership of the brand itself. They could have the next label on a beer that's going out. So for this company, they gave them what the beer was going to be called and told them to go ahead and design a label for that. And then from there, they could do whatever they wanted with that. So they get their creative mind flowing, and they really have ownership in the brand. So this really got people excited. So a photo contest is another thing you can do to really get people engaged. So you can see here are some images from that contest and how different they are and how creative people really got on their own. We also have some refer a friend contests. That's another great way to bring in new people into your brand. So you already have that following on Facebook. You want to reach more people, obviously, grow your business. So the Refer a Friend campaign is a great tool to bring in others that might be already interested in what you have to offer, but they just weren't aware that you were there yet. So a Refer a Friend contest is another great tool that you can run to bring in more members to your audience, collect email leads, in turn to make sales for your business. So here's what that kind of looks like on the bottom. For every friend they referred, they got a point on their tally on the leaderboard. So some people really spent a lot of time promoting that link outside of Facebook, on different social medias, on email lists. So there's a lot of different ways people get creative to win a contest. And that really, at the end of the day, helps build your brand. So number 2, here's the really important, critical part of this webinar here today, the actionable things that you can take to your business once you get off the webinar. So the 6 pieces every Facebook contest needs to succeed. So we'll go ahead and jump straight in. So number 1, we already hit on this a little bit, a strong incentive. Do not use an iPad, an Amazon gift card, something very generic. Pick something that aligns emotionally with your fans and feature it in an image in the campaign. So for Amy's contest, you can see she gave away a bag. We've told some examples of other contests and the prizes, so naming a hat after someone in your audience. Pick something that really will make people want to enter into the contest. And in addition to it making them want to enter, this will also kind of pre-qualify your leads for you. So as I said, don't give away an iPad or an Amazon gift card. Pretty much everyone will want one of those things. So you're going to want to give away something that will qualify those leads for you. So something that relates to your brand. That way you know when they're providing their email address that they actually will want, to have your product. Does that make sense, Sydney?
Absolutely, and let me share one step previous to that. Before you set up a campaign like this and put this out to your network, you want to be really clear about what is the end result that you want. So as we always talk about here at Smart Simple Marketing, we want ideal clients and customers, not just anyone with, as my mentor would say, a pulse and a checkbook. So you want to be crystal clear about who is it that I want to attract to my business, who is it that I want as a new client or customer, and choose your incentive with that person in mind. You want to offer that particular individual, that ideal client, something that would pull them in and draw them in and connect them with your brand. So that's why it's really important that you don't use something generic, but that you really choose your incentive carefully based on the individual that you're targeting.
Exactly, and this is very important, folks, for the results of your campaign and then those actually being hot leads for you as well. So this is a very important thing to note down on your notes, making sure you have a strong incentive. So number 2, creating urgency. You may have seen in all of those case studies I showed you that there was a very similar layout, and there's a lot of reasoning behind that. We've done a lot of research studies. We've run over 250,000 campaigns to make sure we have this layout optimized to get the best results for you. So creating urgency. Your campaign will not convert as well if you don't encourage the fan or viewer to take action now. So they might see this page. If it had 20 days left, they might think, oh, I'll come back and enter later, and then they'll completely forget about it. So based on our testing and research, we found it's best to do a countdown that has 7 days or less left on it. So some of you may think, oh, they might not see it in that time frame. 7 days is definitely the optimal time. There's 2 reasons behind that. One, it gives time for the share features, which we'll talk about in a second, to work for you. So when people are sharing this contest with their friends, the more things get shared by personal pages on Facebook, the more likely they are to show up on other people's news feeds, and that's all according to Facebook's algorithms. So the 7 days will allow that to happen, and at the same time, it does have that urgency, oh, I need to sign up right now. So the 7-day countdown, make sure you're writing that down, 7-day countdown to optimize the results for your contest. Step 3, make it easy to enter. Do not be vague. Tell your fans exactly how they win by featuring an email opt-in in the first step of the contest. A bonus, if you're using Heyo to create one of these contests, is we have integration with all kinds of email marketing platforms. So folks, if you're on the webinar here, go ahead and let me know in the GoToWebinar questions if you're using an email marketing platform, which one you're on. I'll take a look and see at some of those. So MailChimp, Constant Contacts, things like those. Let me know in the GoToWebinar questions if you're using an email marketing platform. Yep, so I see a lot of people saying MailChimp, Constant Contact, MailChimp, 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 Constant Contact. Awesome. So yeah, we do easily integrate with all those platforms. So once people are entering their emails into the collection field here, you can have those sent straight into the specific list that you want. So maybe that's hot leads, maybe you create a separate list for a contest, whatever that is, it can automatically sync those into your email marketing platform. So step number 4, let them market for you. So this is what I was just mentioning with the contest countdown and allowing those marketing features to work. Every Facebook campaign must make it easy for fans or the campaign entrants to market your campaign to their own networks. So this is how we have it set up here. Click to like, click to share, click to tweet. So that is down at the bottom left, as you can see. And this will get you free traffic and not have to worry about ad spend when you're creating these campaigns. So they'll like your Facebook page, they'll share this particular contest with their friends on Facebook, and then clicking to tweet will share with their Twitter followers as well. So what that looks like, meet Paul. Paul enters your contest and shares and tweets it out to all of his followers. So he's that one person entering your contest. He shares it with his friends, so go ahead and meet Paul's friends. They all share after they've entered the contest as well. So you can see how this works. It really has that viral marketing effect to really grow your audience and get more people in to see this contest. Pretty neat, huh, Sydney?
Yeah, definitely. And actually, I want to back up to step number 3 and just share one other tip. It's really important that before you set this up, you actually use your email marketing service to have an autoresponder series that's going to communicate and continue to engage that individual who just opted in. So yes, our goal is to get them to enter the contest because that's how we capture their contact information, but we want to immediately start building a relationship and adding value. So we're not just collecting those leads in your MailChimp or your Constant Contact or whatever, but you want to make sure that you have a dedicated autoresponder series in place so that that person really begins to build a relationship with you and your brand, and you're not just a company that they entered a contest in one day, and whether they won or not, then they go on and forget about you. So grooming the grooming the lead and nurturing that relationship is really what's going to lead you toward capturing that sale and converting that individual to a paying client.
Exactly. So it's important to have that autoresponder set up. Make sure you take these notes down, folks. Have an autoresponder set up, whether that's thanking them for a contest. One other cool thing that you can do in that autoresponder, thanking them for entering, if you have the ability, is adding a promo code in there. So maybe it's, hey, thanks for entering our contest on Facebook. As an incentive for entering, or thank you for entering, here's a 10% off for your next purchase on our store. And that's a great way to actually get sales right there from this. So it's another cool thing you can add on. And autoresponders are definitely great. Another thing you can do with that email list, say you make a particular list for just people entering into this contest. What you can do after the contest is over, instead of having that promo maybe in the thank you for entering email, you can have, after it's over, an email go out that says, thanks for entering our contest. Unfortunately, you were not a winner this time. Go ahead and visit our store and get 10% off on us for your loyalty to our brand, or something along those lines. So there's a lot of different things you can do with those emails to make sure that they're keeping in touch with your brand. Great point, Cindy. Thanks for bringing that up.
You're welcome. One other thing that you can do, especially if you're a service-based business and you don't sell a tangible product, is you could also invite them to a webinar or to an event or something where you can have more FaceTime with them and about a topic that's relevant or related to whatever the contest was about. So the goal is to keep them engaged. If you have products, great. Like Jay mentioned, offering a discount is excellent. And even if you have a product or a service, getting them to take another step with you and participate in an educational experience with you really will establish you as someone that they need to stay connected with and pay attention to as they pursue whatever goals they're working towards in their life or business.
Exactly. Yeah, folks, so there's a lot of different things you can do with those emails based on your business specifically. So those are things that you just need to think about before launching the contest to make sure you're ready, you have a plan of action, how you're going to attack this campaign. So there's a lot of things to think about. So definitely make sure you're taking notes so you don't miss out on those little steps that can really help not only collect these email leads for you, but convert those into sales, as Sydney mentioned. So we'll go ahead and keep going on. So just a refresher, they'll help market your contest for you with having those easy share features in there. So step 5, we've talked a lot about this so far. Brand trust, brand loyalty, whether people know your brand or not. Do not jam your brand into a rigid Facebook contest template that doesn't allow your brand voice to come through. So we have a great spot in this campaign here to put your brand logo and a description of the campaign in the bottom right that highlights your brand voice and personality. So you can really customize what this is going to look like. There's availability of all different types of fonts to really make sure that this fits your brand. So that way people recognize it when they're in this contest itself. And there's one last step. Does anybody have an idea of what the last step to running a successful contest is? Go ahead and type it in the GoToWebinar questions if you have an idea what the last step might be that's important and very critical for running one of these contests on Facebook. I'll go ahead and give you guys a second go ahead and guess what you think this number 6 is going to be. Measure the contest to see the results, analytics. Let me give you a statistic that might help you. 50% of the people that use Facebook only ever go on from their mobile device. So they're never once going on from desktop or a laptop. Any guesses now? I'll go ahead and give you the answer. Oh, there we go. Tom got it. Mobile ready. So having this be mobile responsive, mobilely optimized. So that is the last step for this. Step number 6, mobile is a must. So I rounded up, but here's the 48% that came from directly from Facebook's last earnings call. 48% of the people using Facebook are only ever going on from their mobile phones. So you definitely want to have it mobilely optimized so that this contest can be viewed not just from a desktop or laptop, but from a mobile device. Now, that's very, very critical. So make sure that it is mobilely optimized so that everyone can see it from whatever type of device they're on. So this will help your conversion rate spike by around 15% usually. We've seen it a lot higher with our testing of not having it on mobile versus having it on mobile. So one other critical thing that you'll have to do after running a contest, as I showed you at the beginning, the only way to collect this type of information on Facebook is through one of the apps on Facebook or the custom tabs. So the only way people are actually going to see that is if you have a post from your page. So here's what a sample post might look like. So today's the last day to enter 5 free bags from our upcoming collection. Just click here to enter. So including the smart URL, which will help the contest here realize, if they're on a mobile device versus a desktop, laptop, and it'll also create a standalone web version. So if they don't have a Facebook, it'll just take them to a standalone web page where they can still enter in the contest. So making that post is crucial. So
and this would be a place too where you'd want to highlight different pieces of your contest. So when you're thinking about the post that you want to create to publish, or to promote your contest, you want to keep thinking about ways that you can engage your audience. Like this one's obviously great because it's the last day, but if it was 3 days before, it might, you might say something like, tired of not having, a bag that doesn't hold all your stuff or big enough to hold your stuff or whatever. I mean, just because this one is about bags, but you want to come up with some social media updates and posts that are relevant to your contest and keep using those at multiple points throughout the contest time frame to keep this in front of your audience and get them engaged and encourage them to share it.
Exactly. So maybe that's the day you launch it, having a status update up there or a post to make sure that they're seeing it right when it started. That way that 7 days really does have time to get your audience in there and marketing it out to their own friends. So you're definitely going to want to be posting throughout, not just the last day to enter, because as we mentioned, this post is the best way to get traffic directly into the contest. Great point, Sydney. So this is a completed contest. So this is that last example we looked at for the mixed bags. Here's what it looks like with all those 6 steps in there. And this particular contest captured around 1,800 impressions, 582 emails, and that was a 30% conversion rate. So here that is again. And you can see, go ahead and read this quote here in the black up top, what Amy said about this contest. So she said, I was skeptical of launching a Facebook campaign because I did not want to spend a lot of time tinkering with design and code to fit our company's image. With Heyo, I was able to launch my campaign without using code, and the ease of use was amazing. We're extremely pleased with the results and look forward to selling more bags. So once again, the end goal was to make sales through these email leads you're collecting from your Facebook fans without using ad spend. So number 3. Would you guys like to see how you can do this for yourself? If any of you have a website with a product or somewhere where I can find it online, I'll go ahead and use one of you as a live example. So let's go ahead and check on here, Sydney, if we got anyone putting in their website, and we can build a live contest for them. So we got some people typing in their websites. I'm going to go ahead and go check out some of these websites and see if we got any that we can work with. So I'm pulling up a website here, and I'm going to go ahead and show you guys. So let me see if I can find Janice on here to unmute her. Hey Janice, it's Jay. Can you hear me all right? Let's see.
Yeah, I can.
Awesome. So I went ahead and found your website. Can you tell me a little bit about what your business does, and we'll go ahead and build a live example of a contest with your business, if that's all right.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Basically, my husband and I are entertainers, and we do our musical program at over 250 of the nursing homes, assisted living, independent living, senior centers, the senior market in Indiana and Illinois. We travel and do over 20 shows a month on average. And so I'm the one responsible for getting all the work. So our target market is actually the activity directors who have the budgets to supply the programs for their residents and such.
Okay, awesome. Well, based on what we said earlier about picking a good incentive, what is something that you think you could give away as a prize?
I think a free show.
Okay. See, I'm trying to find a good image that I can drag over. I'll just work with, let's see. I'll go over to Heyo and get started over here. So we can give away a free show.
I can't see. All I can see is the name of the webinar in front of me. I can't see what you're doing.
Okay. Let me. Can you see it now?
I see Heyo, yeah.
Perfect. All right, so I'm going to jump in here. When you're in the dashboard here, all you do is click this Create a Campaign button. And then we're going to be running a social contest. And the one that we've been showing you throughout the webinar here is called the sweepstakes. So I'll go ahead and use that one. And then once you're in the editor here, it lays out everything that you need to edit before you're ready to publish. Once again, there's only 6 things in here. So pretty easy. You walk through those 6 different steps. So you're going to be uploading an image. Let's see if we can go grab an image. See if you have a big image on your screen here somewhere. I'm trying to find this logo here. Is there somewhere I could find that?
Yeah, let's see.
Here's one. I'll just grab this.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
So I'm just going to copy the image URL. You probably have this somewhere on your computer where you can easily upload it. I'm just going to paste in this image URL. That brought that in. Very quick and easy. Then for this big image, you'd want to create something about giving away those free show tickets. So you create a graphic and then do the same thing. Just upload it directly from your computer. With all the images on any of the templates we have here, there are recommended image sizes based on our research and how large they should be on the screen here. So we give those to you for any of the different image slots. So you'd create that image, bring it in. Now, do you remember how many days should be on the countdown?
7.
7. So 7 or less. So we'll go ahead and change this. So maybe we'll make it end next Monday night. You can easily pick the time. And then the email opt-in, so you can pick one of the email platforms, or you can just do a downloadable CSV to upload to wherever you need it to go. You can pick the fields. We suggest just doing an email because the less you're asking from the person entering the contest, the more likely they are to actually enter in. So if you really want or need other information, you can add it, but the less you're asking for, the more entrants you're going to get. So we'll leave it at that. We'll leave this thank you page URL blank as well. That way they can complete these share steps. So next, we're going to edit these share features here. So we're going to go over and find your Facebook page. Do you happen to know the Facebook fan page URL off the top of your head?
Yeah, Facebook.
Okay.
It is facebook.com/MoBeatsBluesShow.
Mobeat Blues Show.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we'll type that in. And then the link to share tweet we'll just leave blank, as this note here says. So when people are sharing, it'll automatically default to the custom URL directly for this contest. And then this text here is extremely important. So everyone make sure you're looking at where I'm pointing. This share tweet text is going to be the pre-populated text when somebody clicks share on Facebook or tweet. So this text will already be auto-filled in that share when they're sharing the contest. So when Paul enters this contest, he enters his email, likes, shares with his friends on Facebook. This text will already be in that share in addition to the URL driving his friends right back in the contest. So maybe this is, I just entered to win free tickets to the Mobeat Blues Show next week. Enter for yourself here. So then that's all set up. Then the last step here is this text. So this is a great spot to put any details about the contest, rules, regulations, if you have age restrictions, if they have to be in the United States, anything of that nature you can put here. So maybe I'll just put follow the steps to the left for your chance to win the tickets. You can spend a little more time with this. I'm just going to leave it at that for now. You can adjust the size, the font, the color of the font, so you can really customize it to fit your brand. So maybe we'll go with blue to fit your brand here. The mouse isn't cooperating with me. So you play with that to customize the color. I think the bandwidth on the internet for the webinar here is messing with that, but you could customize the colors. You can see it changes to that beige. You can make it the blue, whatever you wanted. After that, you're done. So you can see a preview of it. It'll ask you to connect to your Facebook. So you would log into Facebook so it can connect and publish it directly to your page for you. So once you're logged in, it'll ask you what fan page you want to publish it to. You'll select that, and then you'll click Publish. Pretty easy, huh? We're already done. So that took about 6 minutes. Obviously, you would have to get this graphic in, and you'd make sure the font's the right color. But everything's already done. And it's ready to go live to your page, and it would automatically create that custom tab in the app. So you don't have to worry about building that at all. Pretty cool, huh, Jen?
Yeah, awesome.
So that's how easy it is. If anybody has any questions, go ahead and type them into the GoToWebinar questions. We have Alex from our team in there answering those. And if Sydney sees any as well, we can definitely get those answered. I'll go ahead and jump back.
So I see one question here,
Yeah.
Jay, from Ellen. She said she doesn't have a website yet, so she's wondering about a contest for a service business offering divorce financial guidance. So one thing you might want to consider, Ellen, is even if you don't have a full-on website, you could at least have a one-page site that you build using something like Lead Pages or WordPress. That's not a full-on site, but at least you have some content there and an opt-in where people can opt in and learn more about your business. So I would suggest that you do that even while you're still working on building out your full site. And then, you know, if you, Jay probably has a better insight on the contest ideas. Jay, does anything come to mind about divorce financial guidance, a contest that might be appropriate around that?
Yeah, so go ahead and shoot me an email, Ellen, and I'll talk with you about that. I just want to make sure we get through the rest of the content for everybody, but I'll pop you my email in this chat here, Ellen, and I'd be happy to talk to you about that later. So I just sent you my email, so we'll chat later.
And then Jay, Tom had a question about is there any integration between Heyo and WordPress? I'm not sure that it's necessary, but that's a question nonetheless.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what he would be looking to integrate them for, the purposes of, but Tom, we'll talk later more so we get more details of what exactly you're looking to do, and you'll get an email from me after the webinar for a replay link, and we can talk more. So anybody that does have specific questions, if you type them in and Alex doesn't get a chance to enter a response to you while we're live here, we'll go ahead and follow back up or shoot us those questions in an email once you get the webinar link, and we'll respond to those there. So we'll go ahead and jump back over. So one thing to note with running these contests, they're mainly hosted on a Facebook page. So that is the main area they're hosted on. You'll be successful. We've done a lot of research for what results are going to look like. You'll be successful with Heyo if one of the following is true. Your Facebook page has 500 likes or more. You want to build your email list in general. Doesn't have to be Aweber. Your status updates get a few likes, comments, or shares on all the posts you're putting out there. Or if you have an email list of 100 subscribers, at least 100 subscribers. So if you have any of those that are true, that's how you'll know that you'll have pretty good success with Heyo and the results from those campaigns that we showed through the case studies. So here's another question people ask. I have a weird industry. Will this work for me? The answer is yes. We've had all different kinds of people use us. We've had jewelry stores. You can see their conversion rate was 55%. We've had coaches. So here's that question again. We've had golf clubs use us. We've had a company that sold yarn for knitting. So you can see that we're giving away some of their yarn here. We've had a bracelet company. You can see the results for their campaign. So we've had a lot of different industries use us. Those couple things I mentioned earlier are how you'll know if you'll be successful or not. So those 500 fans, if you're looking to build your email list, you already have around 100 people on it, or if you get a few likes, comments, or shares on all your status updates. So no matter what the industry is, there is a way that you can make this work. It's all about figuring out what that incentive is going to be for the giveaway of your contest, and then working on that promotion. And you have to have the energy and drive to want to grow your business and put in the effort to actually make sure all of this is set up right. So I'm not technical. Will Heyo work for me? Yes. You just saw that in building the contest in front of you all. It's very easy to actually build one of these contests. If you have all your images ready to go, you can have this out in under 10 minutes. It's very, very simple.
Jane,
and as we mentioned, Amy. Yeah, what's up, Sydney?
I'm sorry. I think we're still seeing the example you were setting up and not seeing your slides. So I just wanted to ask you to switch back. There you go. Thank you.
Yep. Sorry about that. So here's some of those companies that you saw. So KnitPicks was that yarn one I was mentioning. They had a 64% conversion rate, and they were giving away yarn. So as I mentioned, I'll reiterate the fact, if you have those couple things I mentioned, that's how you know you'll be successful or not. It's not really based on your industry. Every industry has their following. Particular businesses have their brand loyalty. So it's all about that. Those 500 fans, if you have at least 100 emails on your email list, or if you get a few likes, comments, and shares on all the posts you're putting out on Facebook. So your organic reach on Facebook is pretty good. That's how you'll know if this will work for you. So I'm not technical. Will Heyo work for me? Like I just said, you saw me build that in front of you. It's very easy. You're just updating some links, putting in some images, editing text. We already did all the back-end coding, developing work for you, even integrating it directly to Facebook. All you have to do is click that publish button, so it's very easy. So far what you've learned: how a marketing manager with no technical skills launched a Facebook campaign that converted at 30%, next thing you learned, the 6 pieces every Facebook contest needs to succeed, and 6 case studies that captured over 7,000 new email leads. You also saw how you can copy those strategies to build your email list, drive engagement, and increase sales from your Facebook page. So that was that live example I showed you. We'll have live Q&A coming up, and I'll show you the top converting campaign ever in a rapid pace. But real quick, I want you to open up a separate window and head over to heyo.com/chat and let me know if there was at least 2 things you learned from the webinar. Actually, we'll make it easier. Just go ahead and put it in the GoToWebinar questions. So,
and while they're doing that, Jay, I just wanted to point out one of the things that's really cool about this, you guys, is that you can do this over and over and over again. So this isn't like a one-and-done marketing strategy. You could run a monthly contest or a quarterly contest or every 6 months, however it makes sense for your business. But this is really great if you're looking to consistently build your list and bring in new leads, that you can plan these campaigns in advance and the follow-up sequences in advance and really put your list building on autopilot using a tool like this.
Exactly. We've had some people use Heyo, and they reached back out to us a couple months after they ran their first campaign, and they said, I had people in my Facebook fans sending me messages asking when we were going to do the next contest. So once you start doing them, fans get excited about running the contests or seeing the contest being run. So it's definitely something that you can do multiple times and continue to have success with it. So that was a great point. So I'm going to go ahead and see actual.
Yeah, what did you learn, guys? Did you get at least 1 or 2 things specifically from this webinar that you feel you can use? If so, type in the comments and let us know what your favorite takeaways are for your business.
Yeah, so definitely, in addition to either saying yes or no, go ahead and tell me 1 or 2 of those things that you thought was really interesting. Yes, I'm trying to increase. This is a great tool. I need to get motivated to get my fans up. Yes, I've learned so much. Thank you. Awesome. So a lot of people learn actionable things. Terrific. Well, from those actionable things, I'll go over pricing if you want. So if you want me to talk about pricing and some special bonuses I have for your webinar, go ahead and type buy. If not, we'll just go straight to the Q&A. That way we can answer some questions you all might have. So if you want me to cover pricing, go ahead and type buy into the GoToWebinar questions. If not, I'll just skip straight over to the Q&A. Buy. Yes, this idea sounds great. Yes, let's hear it. Okay, sweet. So we'll go over some of the pricing. So here's what's included with every Heyo package. You can launch a campaign every other week. You have access to the photo and video contest templates. You have access to giveaway and sweepstakes templates. You have the different lead generation templates. So on top of the templates I've showed you, there's a lot of other ones that you can look into. There's a direct integration with email marketing to double your lists. There are automatically mobile versions of your campaigns to capture mobile leads, which is huge, as I mentioned. 50% of the people are only going on from their mobile phones. You can stop paying those freelance developers and designers. I know some people on here are guilty of that. Sydney, you might be guilty of that on your own. No, you don't have to worry about Facebook shutting you down. We've already included the legal disclaimer needed to run any contests or sweepstakes on Facebook. And there's super responsive customer support. So we have a lot of people dedicated to helping with questions that you might have around running your contest or anything you might need. So as a bonus for attending this webinar, because we really wanted to make sure that you guys were getting as much from this webinar as you can, and from the snafu last week, Sydney, we added in a couple extra bonuses. So first bonus, we will feature your fan page or business in a blog post. So we publish these case studies to our blog from some of the ones that convert really well. But if you purchase on this webinar, we'll include that in there for free for you. So you can be featured on our blog, which gets hundreds of thousands in traffic every month. A personal one-on-one strategy call with myself or Nathan, who's our CEO, to ensure your success. A white paper on 11 high converting ideas that you can copy as an incentive or prize for your Facebook campaign. Access to our invite-only mastermind group on Facebook, which is personally curated by our CEO, Nathan. You can't get access to this any other way. So this is never offered outside of this a bonus here for you all. Another downloadable PDF of this information packed slide deck. So in case you didn't take as good of notes as you wanted to, or you're more of a visual and you want to see the slides, we'll send that to you as a PDF. A free ebook of 10 Facebook contests that captured 10,000 emails so you can see their strategies behind their campaigns to get your creative juices flowing to really create that perfect campaign for your business. And a 35-minute video course on how to double your email list. Our CEO spoke live at Creative Live with one of the email marketing professionals, and they did a really informative video here on how to double your email list. So, Sydney, what do you think about that?
I think that's awesome. And I know I actually reached out to Nathan about a year ago to ask for some consulting and had to do a private one-to-one call with him. And at the time, I think that was like $200 or $300. So I think this is really valuable. I appreciate you putting this together for our folks.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we had some problems last week, and our relation is building with you, so we wanted to make sure we provided some extra content to really make it more valuable for your audience. So as you can see, here are the bonuses for attending the webinar, only if you buy today on Sydney's webinar. And so here's the total package, what you usually get with Heyo, and the bonuses for buying today. And it's a one-time fee for the entire year of $300. So if you want to take advantage of that deal, go ahead now over to heyo.com/Sydney deal. And one thing to point out, make sure you're spelling Sydney's name right. So heyo.com/SYDNI deal, Sydney deal, to take advantage of this offer here today. So Sydney, any other things you want to mention about good insights or key takeaways for your audience here today?
Well, one of the things I wanted to mention is that just in terms of you thinking about the money that you're spending on your marketing overall and what it will take for you to build your list. A lot of times when I'm talking to clients and our students about list building, they fall into two camps. They either have the money to do it and they just want to outsource it and have someone else manage it for them, or they don't have a lot of money but they do have some time and they're looking for step-by-step instructions on what to do. So typically you fall into one of those two camps. And either way, it's going to take you to get the reach that we've just shown you, to get the conversion rates that we've just shown you. It would take a far more significant investment than $300 for an entire year for you to create something like this on your own, even from the standpoint of just having these pages designed for you with all of these very specific marketing components that are going to empower people to share it, that are going to make it easy to connect with your email service provider, to keep the templates mobile friendly. So you could spend, even in just your time, a fair amount of time trying to find someone to help you do this, and then you'd have to pay for their time to create it for you, and then there's the time to set that up on the back end. So if you think about all of that and what it would take for you to do this on your own and piece it together, I guarantee you that's a heck of a lot more than $300. And if you think about the value of one new customer or client to your business, I'm sure that that is worth more than $300. So it's a worthwhile investment to try it for a year, fill in the blanks, use the templates, use the resources, and take advantage of the millions and millions of people that are using Facebook and the folks in your target market that are active on Facebook, and grab their attention, get their contact information, build that relationship, and convert those leads into paying clients. So I think this is a really good definition of a no-brainer.
Awesome. Yeah, and one other thing to mention based on what you said, Sydney, here, is we do have a 100% 30-day risk-free guarantee, so 100% money back, no questions asked. So if you're a little hesitant, this is guaranteed by our CEO himself. We put his little signature down there. So if you get it started, you sign up on the webinar here, get your bonuses, you run your first contest, and it really doesn't work for you, then we do have that 100% 30-day risk-free money-back guarantee. But before you're signing up, remember what we mentioned earlier. So there are the couple things to note and keep in mind when you're thinking about purchasing. You'll be successful with Heyo if one of these applies. So your Facebook fan page has 500 likes or more. You want to build your email list so you're motivated, ready to get this going. Your status updates get a few likes, comments, and or shares. Or if you have an email list already that has at least 100 subscribers, you can send it to them and have them help market this for you. So once again, if you want to take advantage of this and those bonuses before the webinar ends, go over to heyo.com/Sydney Deal, SYDNI, deal. And still to come, we'll have question and answer. Are you seeing any questions come through on the GoToWebinar?
Yeah, I am, Nathan. I think there's some really good questions. One of the questions that was posed was, what if I don't have 500 subscribers? One of our listeners saying she's at about 98 fans. I meant fans, not subscribers, pardon me. So what tips do you have on that, on building up your fan base so that this will be even more successful for you?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different strategies on how to get your fan base built. And there are some great tools and articles to read on our blog, blog.heyo.com. Once again, that's blog.heyo.com. There's a lot of different articles. If you just type in the search thing, grow my audience, or build Facebook fans, there'll be different articles with strategies that you can put into effect now that can build you to that 500 number where you know you'll have more success with running these contests. So we don't want you purchasing this package if you're not ready yet, because we want to make sure that you're going to have those good results. And that's why up front we're telling you, hey, look, you should be having at least 500 Facebook fans, or getting a few likes, comments, and shares on your updates, or having that email list with at least 100 subscribers. So go ahead over to the blog if you're not quite at that 500 mark yet, but you still want to build that so you can run these contests. And there's some great articles on the blog that can really help grow your audience.
And one of the things I will share in terms of a strategy, especially for those of you who are using Constant Contact, Constant Contact does have a built-in social campaigns feature that allows you, it has a tool in there that actually helps you to build your fan base. So if you are a Constant Contact user, you want to take advantage of that. And I do know that although this webinar was about getting customers without paying for ads, I will say, though, that we've had really good success spending just $25 a month on buying on ads and using it specifically to build our fan base. So not so that we can do promotions like this. So keep in mind, even if you want to experiment with ads, it's not like you have to spend hundreds or thousands of dollars. We continue to grow our fan base on Facebook really consistently and just are spending $25 a month on those specific ads. So there's like he said, there's a lot of different ways, but I did want to point out at least those two.
Awesome. Yeah, so once again, there is that 100% 30-day risk-free. So if you want to take advantage of this deal, make sure you're doing it before we end the webinar here today. If you have any questions, definitely type them in the GoToWebinar questions, and if Alex doesn't get a chance to answer them, Sydney and I will try and answer them live here. But another little thing, work with Heyo. We've got a proven method. So I get this email in my inbox every morning from Nathan. You can see at the bottom there with the results from the campaigns that are currently running. So you can see some of these are pretty high numbers, some are a little lower, but all their conversion rates are still pretty healthy and well above that 10% that Sydney mentioned was the average. So once again, here is what you have if you enter today to take advantage of this deal. Are you seeing any other questions coming through, Sydney?
If you have any other questions, we would love to hear them and answer them. So if you have a question, please feel free to type it into the question box there on your GoToWebinar screen, and that we can be sure that you get an answer to that.
Awesome. Well, while we're waiting for some questions to go through, I'll go ahead and jump into that highest converting campaign that I mentioned we would show at the end. So I'll go ahead and reshare my screen. And this one is amazing how fast it converted. So we saw some higher numbers for conversion rates earlier, but this one was just unreal how fast it really worked for them. So in the first 5 minutes, King Tut's Wawa Hut launched the contest to win tickets to see an artist. In the first 5 minutes, they're at a 57% conversion rate. So you can see what their contests look like here. And then obviously down to the left, it had the share features built in. There's their mobile optimized version. And here's what it looked like on their Facebook page. So you can see the full contest there. You can see the text down in the bottom right. And here's their first status update. So listen up. Do you want to be a part of the exclusive Biffy Clyro gig at King Tut's Wawa Hut? And you can read the rest if you want to there. So their industry was ticket sales. So this is back to Janice and her band there. So this is a very similar type contest. They captured 4,640 impressions, 2,668 emails, and the conversion rate was 58%. But the thing that was really amazing was how much engagement they got on this. So their Twitter stream was blowing up. So you can see here it should autoplay. Oh, I'll click play. So these are all different unique tweets. So once it stops at the bottom is when these tweets actually ended. So you can see how many people actually clicked. I know it might look like a mind trick, but we just went so fast you could actually see it all. But these are all unique tweets to their Twitter feed from people clicking that tweet button. So that was all of them right there. But for how fast that was going, that was a lot of engagement for one brand. Think about how many followers each of these people has that just walk through. So that's a great tool for marketing, those built-in share features. So here's an email from Nathan, our CEO, directly to Kaj, who was running that contest. So you can go ahead and read that email there. This is one of the ones that we featured in a blog post because of how well it did. So he basically told him the numbers, asked if we could feature it in our blog, and then here's his response. Hey Nathan, that's fantastic. We've had a great response, but let's be honest. The contest is so good, it's driven itself. You can feature it on your blog if you like, and then obviously he said a couple other things about featuring it there, but the contest drove itself, and that was directly from that Twitter stream that you saw. So those built-in share features really can help market these contests for you. Anything to note off of that, Sydney?
I just think it's really outstanding that that they had these great results and that they just followed the step-by-step instructions. I mean, that's one of the things that you want to keep in mind with your marketing. When you see something like this that works when you follow the instructions, don't overthink it and don't try to tweak it and make it better. If you were to go through those 6 steps that that Jay walked us through, and then add in those additional little pieces with identifying your ideal client and planning out your autoresponder series, you're going to be successful with this. So it's not something you have to overthink it, and that's what this gentleman did. He just followed the steps and leveraged what was available to him, and it worked. So try it. You know, a lot of times small business owners, we get stuck on concepts and trying to figure out all the steps and, well, what if this and what if that? And you're not going to know if it will really work for you if you don't try it. So Heyo has really generously provided a lot of resources to help you get your first contest up and out the door. You have a 30-day money-back guarantee. Give it a try. You don't have anything to lose except the opportunity to attract more leads to your business and grow your email list, which is why you're here. That's why you came here today, was to learn this. So don't let this just have been an intellectual exercise, but take what's been shared with you and what you've been given and use it and see how it applies to your business.
Awesome. Yeah, so if we don't have any other questions here, Sydney, that we see in the chat, I didn't see any when I looked through, but I could have missed them because I was still looking through some other stuff on the slides here.
Yeah, it looks like we've answered everything. We'll do last call for questions. If you have a question about the product or about one of the features or steps that we mentioned, please go ahead and type that in, and we'd be happy to answer that for you.
Yep, and just a reminder, folks, the only way you'll get these bonuses if you sign up while we're here today on the webinar. So go ahead and make sure you're going over to heyo.com/Sydney Deal if you want to take advantage of these offers. I see we already have a couple people who have signed up, which is great. So make sure you're taking advantage of these bonuses while you can, folks. And we'll look to see if we have any more questions before signing off. And I hope you took some valuable information from this webinar that you can put into place for your business. So let's see. I'm not seeing any more questions coming through, Sydney.
Okay, well, I appreciate you taking the time to share all of this, Jay, and to walk through the steps and all of the bonuses that you offered. We really appreciate it, and we'll look forward to some folks in the Smart Simple Marketing community being your next best success stories.
Yeah, I can't wait to see some of them featured in our blog with the results they bring in. So once again, folks, thanks for joining on. If you have any other questions, definitely reply to the email you get with the replay link to the webinar, and we'd be happy to help you out answering those. One thing to sign off, Sydney, can we get a big heyo on the count of 3?
Heyo! Oh, you said count of 3, sorry.
Yeah, on the count of 3. We'll sign off with the heyo, all right? Ready?
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Heyo!
Heyo!
Take care, folks. Have a great rest of your day.